Over to you, Mr. Lazarus.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shimali, for the opportunity. Thank you guys for coming. I'm just going to give you what I would call the state of vending, the vending enterprise in Zimbabwe. I think we are in agreement as a country that we are losing jobs on a daily basis, and we are losing our important human resource on a daily basis. And this is against the backdrop of our colleges, our universities churning out experienced young people, but there is no formal employment to absorb the same. So vending naturally became the alternative for most of our youth in Zimbabwe. But we have got a confusing situation where the government at this point in time still do not recognize vending as an alternative. So basically, as an organization, we were formed out of the realization that vendors and the vending enterprise is being neglected, when it is very clear that the economy, the country needs vendors to remain intact. We are also formed to ensure that vendors are able to participate in policy and the legislative processes of Zimbabwe, because we feel that vendors now, especially at this point in time, they've got an important role to play in the development of this economy. But we are having serious challenges in convincing the government, the same government that is failing to provide jobs to the people, to convince them that accept vending as an alternative. So we have got local authorities who basically are the agents of the government, still living with archaic bylaws, the Smith regime bylaws that do not recognize vendors. But as National Vendors Union, we are saying the time is now, and the government have got only one option, and that is the option of accepting vending and taking vendors as workers. Because if they don't do that, this country really is on the brink of collapsing. Because on a daily basis, we are losing our young people from formal employment joining the vending enterprise. So the moment you push them, I think they are just putting themselves under a lot of pressure. So let me now touch the issue of corruption as it relates to vending. The Harare City Council, I'll give an example of the Harare City Council. They launched an exercise, I think about 3 months ago, of registering vendors, because their argument is that vendors are causing a lot of disorder, in the CBD area. But we are saying that's not the correct situation, because the biggest disorder in Zimbabwe is the level of unemployment currently prevailing. That's the biggest disorder. Vendors are trying to make a living, and this is honest. This is an honest way of trying to survive. I'll give, for example, I've got 3 colleagues who are part of our structures, our street vendor structures, leadership structures. All of them, they hold master's degrees. And on a daily basis, they are trying to get absorbed into the formal employment, but there is no space. You have to be linked to somebody, you have to know somebody to be absorbed into the formal employment. So they resort to vending. But there is a lot of corruption within the vending enterprise itself. I was talking about City of Harare. They launched an exercise to register all vendors operating within the CBD area of Harare. But that exercise was hijacked by some, politically aligned individuals, people whom we've now termed space barons. These are individuals who just come and say, I'm responsible for First Street, for example. They say if you want to come and operate within the vicinity of First Street, you have to pay money to me as an individual. There is a Cleveland area just adjacent to Copacabana bus terminus. I think most of you guys, if those who pass through that area, you see there are tents marked grassroots empowerment projects. That's the one example of corruption at its highest level within the vending enterprise. Those tents are owned by one guy called Mutsengerere, and this guy is forcing vendors to pay $10 a day to be able to come and sell their wares within that tent. And that guy is a lot of money. That guy, you've got tents in Cleveland area, you've got tents the entire 4th Street, and according to the research that we did over the past 2 months, the guy is making between $2,500 to $3,000 a day from vendors. And the research also concluded that the guy is also linked to senior politicians in a certain political party, which is controlling administration within the city of Harare. So we are saying as National Vendors Union, this must stop, because the moment you put vendors who do not have an open, going into vending means somebody now do not have an option. The moment you continue to put pressure on them, you are further putting pressure actually on yourselves as the government. And you are saying, no, these guys should be dealt with sooner rather than later. And we've been trying to appraise the officials at the city of Harare, but you can actually read that senior officials are linked to the whole issue. So we are saying no to politicization of vending, and we are also saying no to issue of making vendors pay huge amounts of money. We are not necessarily against the issue of vendors paying taxes, but we are not happy with individuals coming to take money from vendors, because it exposes them to corruption. It exposes vendors to corruption. Then let me now touch on the issue of an operation that the city of Harare has just recently launched, an operation codenamed Operation Umarucha. I don't know what that really means, but they also go on to say Gutangarche. Basically, the thrust of the operation is to push vendors out of the CBD area. Vendors whom they say are not registered, because the majority of vendors snapped their registration process, which they conducted about 2 months ago, because it was open to manipulation. It was not clear what they really wanted to achieve out of it, so they snapped it. Now they are bringing in this operation to push away vendors out of the CBD area. We had meetings with the mayor of Harare the whole of last week, and we advised them against the operation. But I think about 2 days ago, the director of human resources at City Harare launched the operation, and I am told that today they are going to start the process of pushing away vendors out of the CBD area by force, and we are reliably informed that they have also roped in the army and the police to assist them in doing the same. But as an organization, we condemn the involvement of state security players in the issue of vending, because these are socio-economic issues. The fact that we've got so many vendors within the CBD area reflects on the policies of the government of the day. If the policies of the government of the day are able to create employment, you will not see such levels, such huge numbers of young people engaging in vending. So we are saying, talk to vendors, come to us. For example, National Vendors Union, you've got a database of more than 12 now we are reaching almost 13,000 registered members within the CBD area of Harare only. And we are saying, we have got this database. Come, let's see how we can organize vendors so that they conduct themselves in an organized manner within the CBD area, so that they don't, cause this congestion that they are talking about. They are seeing in the pavements. Let's organize them. It takes everyone to organize vendors, because the moment you just use force to push them out, you are creating more problems. And we are saying, go back home and die. That's basically what the government is saying. But we are not going to go back home and die. That's what vendors are saying. We are not going to go back home and die. We are going to make sure that the government understands that it is their responsibility to ensure that every Zimbabwe is able to work and put food on the table. So basically, this is the situation that we have. Our local authorities are very arrogant. They don't want to engage with the vendor organizations. They think that we are here to oppose everything that they are bringing on the table. But we are saying, no, let's help each other to organize vendors and ensure that we curb corruption. Because there are people who are making a lot of money out of desperate vendors, especially in Harare. Then in Bulawayo, the situation of Bulawayo is a little bit different. Here in Harare, it is the municipal police that is involved in massive corruption. But in Bulawayo, it is the ZRP, the Zimbabwe Republic Police, that is that vendors are fingering up in these short corruption deals. And we had a meeting with the mayor of Bulawayo, and he promised to really. I must commend him. I must commend him. He showed a lot of commitment to work with us as a union, so that we will find these solutions together and ensure that we protect vendors from corrupt politicians, we protect vendors from corrupt police officers, and we protect vendors from archaic bylaws. We simply need to do away with these archaic bylaws. Then let me touch on what we are doing as an organization to ensure that eventually vending is legalized. We have, through our consultants, developed what we have termed Street Vendors Bill, Protection of Livelihoods Bill. This bill seeks, among other things, to curb corruption within the vending enterprise. 1, 2, to ensure that vendors are organized. 3, to ensure that vendors are able to contribute to the development of the economy. So we cannot be able to do that if we are not recognized. So this bill seeks first and foremost to ensure that vendors are recognized. And we take vendors as workers, because after all, Apasinama workers in Zimbabwe, everyone is now a vendor. Here, if I ask you guys, one way or the other, you are a vendor. So the government should now realize that reality and act accordingly. So that act, we have already started pushing it. We have engaged so far 2 legislators in trying to push the same through the parliamentary processes. Honorable Lucia Matibenga from MDC, and Beata Nyampinga from ZANU-PF, and also Honorable Chikwinya from MDC again. So these guys, so far, they have done a wonderful job trying to share with their colleagues this bill so that it will see the light of the day. I think basically these are some of the initiatives which we've been doing. I think we have been seeing us doing cleanup campaigns in the CBD area, just trying to convince the city fathers that vendors can be organized. We want to work from clean domains, but give us space, give us time to organize ourselves so that you can really see, realize order within the CBD area. Thank you.